please. Unless you can get me clean out of here, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
That's not an option.
I figured.
But I think I hear you saying is you're open to the idea of helping. So maybe we can work something out.
I'm tired. Let's stop dancing around it. I can't help you.
Sure you can.
Boyd and I broke up.
Patch it up.
I can't help you. Even if I could, I won't.
Prison's made you hard, Ava.
It's been building up since about the last punch I took from Bowman.
Well, I can be hard, too. Seeing as you're in here for shanking a CO in county, how much of a nudge you think I need to give the screws in here? Get them to look the other way as concerns your welfare.
Go to hell. Guard!
Yeah, so we see Raylan go full cop on Ava and say, hey, you know what? I can make life miserable for you in here if you aren't going to help. Forget about making life good for you if you do. I'll just, you know, maybe you'll end up dead if you don't help me, which is pretty shitty.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that whole exchange, I think this is the best kind of moment of all of Ava in prison. This sort of confrontation, because it sort of reveals a little bit who Raylan actually is. Like, you know, that he tries to be gentle with her and says, oh, you cut your hair or whatever. But the reality is he's a man on a mission. He's there to get Daryl Crowe Jr. and that's it. He doesn't care who he hurts or leaves behind in his wake, especially if those people happen to be involved in a criminal enterprise. And or regardless of whether or not he had a relationship with her in the past. So it's tough.
That was literally like a month ago. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. It does feel unusual. The dialogue in the scene, I do like it because it feels very stilted, right? It feels very much like somebody who doesn't know what to say to somebody who's in prison, and somebody in prison like, I can't believe the balls on this person to come here and talk to me about this. It's really good. There's a lot of spacing between what they say and how they answer, and they're measuring each other very carefully. I really like it. I think it probably is the best scene of Ava in prison in the entire season. So yeah. But so she blows him off. She tells him no, she's not going to do it, and goes back to her cell. While all this is happening, we see Daryl Crowe, and Daryl Crowe is at the hotel at Wynn's Suite looking for Picker. The problem is Picker's dead. He's blown up. And when Mikey answers the door, he can tell something weird is going on in that room, and he's not Daryl Crowe. He's not really sure what's going on in there, but it smells funny. He's like, you guys having a pig roast in there? What are you doing? and
he's like, no cops were killed in that room.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then Daryl Crowe, who is, you know, up until this point, you look at Mikey and you're like, well, Mikey's a pretty big guy. Daryl Crowe walks in, and Daryl Crowe's like way bigger than Mikey. He's like 6 inches taller than him and broader than him. And he kicks Mike's ass and essentially beats the information out of him that Boyd's guys hid the heroin. So when Boyd finds that out, he realizes he can set up Daryl, the marshals, and the Mexicans all at once. He's like, wait a minute, I've got it. I'm gonna give up half of the cocaine or half of the heroin and, you know, let Daryl Crowe get caught with it. The Mexicans will be there. They'll see that he's been taken into custody. They won't have a choice. They'll have to go away. And then that gets the Mexicans out of my hair. It gets Daryl in jail. It gets the marshals off my back because they've got Daryl. What he didn't realize is that they want more than just heroin. And so that is where Boyd's little master plan here starts to hit some speed bumps. He walks into the marshal's office, says that he's going to, give up the information on Daryl Crowe. I think he says something to the effect of "Your savior has arrived" when he walks in. He's got his arms spread like he's on the cross, like the whole thing.
Yeah, like he's on that cross at the top of the mountain in Rio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he comes in. They're thinking he's going to want to get Ava out, right? And Vasquez is like, "Yeah, we can maybe do that. It's going to be hard, but we can probably do it if we get the right info." And so Raylan goes in and starts to interrogate Boyd. And I have a clip of that, and it's fantastic.
Give me your phone.
What, you ain't got one?
Give me your phone.
Well, I don't know if you heard, Raylan, but I'm a single man now. I've even toyed with the idea of leaving the Bluegrass State.
Don't make me repeat the question.
What I want is a clean slate. I just want to be left alone. I want to start my life anew.
I was expecting you to change.
Did I say something funny?
You are who you are. I find it amusing. No. Enlightening.
So
you're saying you want us to shelve your file?
I guess what I'm saying is if you want the man that shot your chief file and no file, you turn the other cheek. So do we have a deal or not? A funny story.
Funny short story.
A friend of mine, a refrigerator repairman out in Loyal, was rummaging through an old broken down barn. Come across a field coat, wherein he discovered what he believes to be 5 or 6 kilos of heroin. I think they call them bricks.
Why don't you leave out the parts we'd like to skip?
Well, I have it on good authority that Daryl Crowe Jr. is looking to build a house with those bricks. In fact, I think he's headed there as we speak. Now, all y'all got to do is catch the man with his hand in the cookie jar.
We don't want him on felony possession. We want him on attempted murder.
Why, Raymond Gibbons, I'm extending my hand to you. Why you want to bare your teeth?
Sidebar.
Yeah, y'all need to talk.
Real quick.
So basically Vasquez says, "Hey, this is how they got Al Capone. So we're going to do this." Yeah. Like we need to get him. And Raylan's like, "Well, hey, what about the kid?" Right. Cause his concern is getting Kendall exonerated. So to a degree, I mean, he wants Daryl Crowe in custody. Obviously that's his number one priority, but his number two priority is, hey, we can get Kendall potentially exonerated here too. And that kid doesn't deserve it because he identifies with that kid. He wants to get him out. And so Vasquez says, "Hey, we'll have to figure that out, right? We need to get Daryl Crowe in custody first, then we'll figure out what to do with the kid." So they're gonna make that play. So Boyd tries to show him on the map, and Rachel says, "No, you're coming along with us. There's none of this show me on the map stuff, and then we're gonna go there. You're gonna come with us." And that surprised Boyd because he's pretty sure the cartel guys are going to be there. So he's a little worried about that. We see this scene where the white supremacists make a play to kill Ava in the yard. There's this whole thing where like Ava wants to put together this. I'm just going to blow through this, right? Ava wants to put together a sisterhood. While she's discussing those plans, the white supremacists, they kill Penny. And then one of the white supremacists gets arrested or gets pulled out by the guards for killing Penny. And so they think Ava was snitching. So it's a whole like complicated political thing going on, which is what inspires Ava to call Raylan at the end of the episode and say, "Hey, I changed my mind. I want out. I'll do whatever I need to do." And Raylan's like, "Sorry, Boyd's already cooperating. And by the way, he didn't ask for you to be out." So how does that feel?
They were on a break.
Yes, exactly. We were on a break. Yeah, exactly. So that's what happens there. Ava's changed her mind. She's ready to rat on Boyd, but Boyd's already cooperating, and they're already working on getting Daryl Crowe. So yeah, she's out of luck.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked to have seen Ava and Panabaker get out on the out on the outside.
Oh, like a Thelma and Louise sort of thing.
Yeah. Like I don't know, that would have been kind of interesting. I think
that would have been good to have like Ava running Audrey's and like with Penny as her number 2 or whatever. It would be an interesting. I'd be a cool show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Carl and the new bartender, they encountered Daryl, and they knew this was going to happen, right? Because Mikey told Daryl that his guys hid the drugs. Caleb and Carl are there, and they know that they're going to get confronted by Daryl, and they were instructed by Boyd, give up the information, but don't give it up too easy. So yeah, when when Daryl shoots the new bartender in the knee, Carl just gives up the location.
Yeah.
And poor Caleb gets shot and then quits. So that's the end of Caleb. Boyd announces later and kind of an afterthought that Caleb quit. So he's
had a heck of a first
job
day.
ever.
Yeah.
He's had a rough run with the Crows, that's for sure. So so they give up the location, which means that Daryl now knows where he needs to go to get the heroin. But the problem is Daryl, despite being a moron Florida redneck, is actually kind of smart for a criminal and justified. And he says, there's no way I'm going anywhere near that heroin. It's radioactive. So I'm going to get Wendy to do it. So he wakes up Wendy and tells her, we got to get Kendall out. I'm doing this whole thing with a lawyer. And I have a clip of that. I'm going to go ahead and play that.
While you was dozed, I was lining up a lawyer. Best I could find, because you know that public defender ain't worth shit.
Great.
Except them retainers cost so much goddamn money. You know what I mean? Money we ain't got.
Well, what do we have? I mean, what can we sell? We gotta get the best.
Don't worry, I'm working on it. I just need you to pick something up for me.
What?
It's bad, Wendy. Roll your sleeves up bad.
Must be bad. You don't even want to touch it.
Yeah, well, you and I both know that bitch-ass Marshall be watching my every move. Got to be smart if I'm gonna be effective. But if you really want to know, I'll tell you what it is. You don't know?
No.
I understand. It's in this old barn house. There's a fridge.
No, I mean no. I won't do it.
I need you to listen to me. Look, baby girl, I know ain't none of this been easy. But we came here to settle as a family. And we can still do it. I mean, all this shit we done been through ain't got to be for nothing. What I'm sending you to get is enough for a lawyer and a stake for us and Kendall. But if you don't get that bag I'm sending you to get, we done.
Yeah. So he basically gives her the ultimatum and he says, hey, look, you either go pick it up or you and I are done. So she agrees, right? I mean, look, he's lied to her. I mean, we as the viewers are relatively certain that he hasn't actually talked to a lawyer, right? He never met with a lawyer. He just knows that, it can be expensive to hire a lawyer, so he uses that against Wendy. And he says, "Hey, look, go get the heroin. We'll sell the heroin and we'll pay the lawyer." When the reality is he's going to pocket the money and flee the state. So, as we know, based on the scene with Boyd later, we find out it's because he's getting out of town because Boyd's firing him, essentially.
Do we know if he actually told Wendy what was in there? I mean, it's plausible deniability, because one thing I had is later on is that Wendy is pretty convincing as far as based on what we find out what they were going to do with Kendall.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering if he actually told her what was in there in that fridge.
Oh, what was in the fridge that she was picking up? I think she probably figured it out. Even if they didn't have the conversation about it, she knew that they were helping Boyd smuggle heroin. She knew that. I'm pretty sure she knew that, at least. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she didn't ever know that particular thing, just that there was something they were helping him do and it was going to be valuable. But she has to know, right? I mean, he's sending her to pick this stuff up. As soon as she opens the fridge, she's going to know exactly what it is anyway. But yeah.